Lobe Live. I am Keisha Smith, designer for Lobe, Dangle, haute couture leather accessories. And I am sharing the couch this evening with my fashion friend, Keisha Ransome from 2Live2Love. Welcome, Keisha.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. That was like, what'd you say? She and Von Vargas, Baltimore City Nights, have done some collaborations, and since then I've had the opportunity to work with her as well. And so she, again, is the owner for 2Live2Love, and she is the mother of two. So we're gonna get into that in just a second. But Keisha, I wanted to share a quote that I read the other day, and it really stuck with me. And it said, "Fashion says me too, style says me only."
I like it.
I like it too.
I like it.
I think it's pretty deep. It's really thought-provoking. You know, when we think about fashion, everyone can participate in fashion.
Right.
But style is something that you cultivate. Style is something that you own. And so that's why it's like me too. Because on any given day, you have to think about the fact, even in fashion, you're not going to see anyone dressed exactly the same way or rocking it the exact same way that you are. So, Keisha, me being a leather designer, when I think about leather, leather is classic. Tell me about your favorite leather piece.
Okay, my favorite leather piece. This is funny. Okay, so I have this vintage pencil skirt, vintage leather pencil skirt. It's black.
It's probably a size 0 because everything vintage is like for people who have no waist.
It's a bit on the snug side. So look, it's knee length or whatever.
Okay.
And I was at a fashion show doing my fashion thing, and it had a split in the back, and that thing went straight up. I'm like, give me the scissors. So now it's a mini. So my favorite leather piece now is a mini leather skirt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you still wear it?
Yeah. I just wore it the other day.
What color? Black?
Yeah, it's black. So it's like a black mini classic.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's a classic piece too. You know, I mean, just having, if you're gonna have a leather piece, I think, of course, you should have some Lobe dangles, some accessories.
Absolutely.
But you should definitely have a leather coat, leather pants possibly, or leather skirt. I think, like, you know, you need to be able to have something like that to mix and mingle within your wardrobe. I think it's cool.
Right.
So, in the light of 2Live2Love, your brand, when you started it, did you know that it would be an internationally recognized brand that people all over the world be rocking tulle skirts? Like, was that the idea in mind? Like, oh, this is going global.
Absolutely. Like, honestly,
That's what's up.
so FYI people, I started with t-shirts. I will go into that at another time. Either way, when I decide to do something, I'm going all the way. I want to go big. So It's like, if I can ship to the entire world, why would I deny anyone my awesomeness? So no, I really did. I always had my eyes on crossing the oceans and going into other countries, for sure.
That's right.
Yeah, like before I could even figure it out, before I even knew how to ship anything internationally, that's what I wanted. And when you set your mind on something like that, you bring it to you. So I knew it.
What was the first country you shipped to?
Dubai.
Wow.
I always remember that. I actually have a picture with the skirt. I'm like, bye, my little baby. Go.
Isn't it how you feel? You feel like, you know what? It's almost like you're allowing someone to adopt them, but they're still connected to you.
Right. It's like your baby. It's your
Yes.
gift. It's your gift. And
That's
Australia definitely shows me big love too. So that probably was the second country. I love Australia. In the process of scheduling a call with someone from Australia tonight, actually after this interview. But Dubai was the first place.
Dubai. Wow, good stuff. And so, when I look at your Instagram, when I'm looking at your site, just recently, I'm looking at your pictures, and I'm wondering, like, how in the world do you get people to send you these dope pictures?
Right.
I mean, because think about it, as a designer, sometimes, you know, people will buy your stuff and they're just with their cell phone, just sending you some. I mean, of course, with a tulle skirt, you need more of a full length photography situation set up. Like, are you saying to the brides, send me your best picture? Or are they just sending you amazing pictures? I saw the picture. I think the bride was in Iceland.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's a blogger.
Oh, those pictures were super dope.
Yeah.
Like, you could have not even paid for that situation.
Right.
So, I mean, are you saying anything?
Yeah, I said, you better give me those pictures. No, really, honestly, I think that by the time people are ordering from me, it's for a special occasion.
Yes.
And they feel really good in it. It's a day, lots of times it's a day that they'll like remember forever. And they want to share that because it's like, it's one of their happiest days. It's their wedding, it's their anniversary, it's their birthday. And I'm grateful enough that they think enough to send those pictures back to me. So I don't ask.
Wow.
I don't ask. I don't.
Wow.
But lately, because there are a few skirts that went out that I'm like, please, I gotta see this on you. I have been following up maybe in the last month or so. But everything you've seen on social media, no.
Wow.
They just sent them to me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Wow, very good. That's amazing. So, tell me about, you said that you came from a line full of seamstresses.
Yeah.
Who was doing the thing in the house? Was it mama at the kitchen table with the singer? What was happening?
Okay, here's a story with that. So my maternal grandmother would make my mom make her dresses from newspaper patterns. So she would make a pattern from newspaper cutout and make it for my mother. Now my father's mom, she also sold a lot, like, and even his sisters and their children, like church hats. She even made like tights, like gloves, everything.
Wow.
But my mom taught me to sew. She just did it like to play around with it, like a hobby. My mom has zero patience. So she's like, look, I can show you the straight stitch and where to get a pattern. Leave me alone. I can't help you after that.
Wow.
And that's when I was like 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
And I picked it up and went way beyond what she even imagined I would go with that.
Wow. Okay, so talking about going beyond, when did you know that you could take the leap and say, I can do this full time? I mean, just speaking to other designers who are just listening to you. I mean, of course, that's the story you always get. How did you start? Right. How did you know it would work? Of course, according to you, you felt like, when I do it, I'm gonna be global, regardless. Right. But what made you take the leap to say, I can support myself?
I didn't care about supporting myself. I cared about living my passion.
And so you were passionate about what, though?
Creating. Creating anything. I was doing a job where I felt like I was a paper pusher. I was very passionate about my career. I was very passionate about helping communities and processing federal grants and getting those monies into neighborhoods that needed it most. And so I just let my passion drive me.
You were passionate about getting out of that?
No, I was passionate about creating. So, okay, with the whole sewing thing, I sewed in high school. I made prom dresses. I made fashion show outfits. All of that stuff. As soon as I got my degree, after I finished high school and pursued engineering, did not pick up a sewing machine for 10 years.
Wow.
I said, I'm like, no, this is what I'm doing. It's going to be structured. It's going to be the house, the car, the picket fence, hopefully some children, some dogs, birds, cats. And I was trying to live this very structured life, which really started to kind of like choke me to death. I started feeling suffocated in my own life. So when you feel like that, you're going to do whatever it takes to feel better. And I needed to start over. And part of that starting over was pursuing a new career. So it wasn't about, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be a fashion designer. It's like, I want to live the life I'm meant to live. And I'm going to find it out. And even if I'm sleeping at the Rite Aid out front, that's what it takes. That's what I'll do.
So you didn't have like did you have a backup plan? Did you have like a little stash on the side when you left that good government? It sounded like it was a good government job.
No, actually, I was a consultant. So I worked for a private firm, a very small private firm, and we had government contracts. So, I had a little bit, but because I did not plan, you should plan. Work with it, say plan your work and work your plan. Definitely do that, because I ran through that money so fast because I had no idea what I was doing. And so, I'm advertising in the wrong places. I'm vending at the wrong places. I'm, you get a little depressed. You eating at the wrong places. So yeah, it was a very beautiful mess. It was a beautiful mess. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so I know that you spoke about advertising in the wrong places.
Yeah.
How did you know that Etsy would be the platform that do you feel like Etsy is the best one? Because I know you started off on another one. You told me about another. You was
Yeah.
like, girl, I'm shipping skirts worldwide. I'm like, what is this platform?
Right.
And then from there, then it was Etsy. And
I know.
so tell me, how did you know Etsy was the
Okay.
one? And then tell us, how many sales have you had to date on Etsy? I was keeping up with you now. I can't keep
Oh
up.
my goodness. So, okay, here's the thing about Etsy. My acupuncturist told me about Etsy when I was selling t-shirts. So, and I was like, hey, you know, she had little onesies for her, for a shop. Shout out to Sarah O'Leary at Men Acupuncture. So yeah, she said, hey, you should sell on Etsy. And I'm like, what in the world is Etsy? So, you know, I put a few things on there and it sat there and collected dust. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, you know, I built my whole shop, totally didn't know what I was doing. Fast forward, I kind of abandoned it. And then I was on Open Sky and I was on these other platforms and I was vending. And I said, I need to learn more about this Etsy. People are really digging Etsy. People are going there to find people who who are making handmade things, people they can relate to. And I'm like, I'm relatable. I need to figure this out. So I just started studying it. I started reading how to succeed on Etsy, and boom, like once I switched to the skirts, it was done.
So everyone's gonna want to know what's up with t-shirts to tulle skirts. Like, what is even the connection of that? Like, yeah, okay, clearly there's a connection, right? But okay, how did you say you were screen printing? What were you doing with t-shirts?
Yeah. I was working with a local screen printer and with my own design. So I was working with a graphic artist. I'm like, hey, here's my vision, you know. So getting them to do my designs. My designs were all about like positivity. You know, I believe like a t-shirt is like a billboard. Like it's when you wear something that has a meaning that you identify with. It's not just for you, it's for everyone you encounter. And I just love the idea of that exchange. When you're wearing a t-shirt with something, there's an exchange going on. And I love that. So I made a tulle skirt for my birthday. And I wore it, and everyone was like, I love your skirt. I love your skirt. And I was like, maybe I should be selling these.
Wow.
And so I put...
Where were you at? Were you at a club? Where
I think I went out to the club.
Okay.
And you know how I
was
dress.
it maxi or short?
No, so it was a T-length.
Okay.
It was a champagne T-length with the black elastic waistband. It was the first version. I actually still have my first skirts. My two first skirts. I want to frame them. Long story short, though, I think I had it on like with my track jacket, my Adidas track jacket that I love, and like some Converse. That's how I wore it. Like that's where I was. Long story short, when people kept asking about it, I had it in one size, and that was the size I wore, small. So people on these different platforms were like, "Are you gonna ever release any other sizes?"
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm
the
like,
learning curve. Wow.
Yeah, so I had no idea. I'm like, you can have a T-shirt, but they're like a medium. I'm like, well, what is the standard size for a medium? So I was way over my head.
Wow.
So it started off with one skirt, size small.
And you were trying to make everyone a small, like, just buy the small.
Right, figure it out. Grease down and get in there.
Wow. Wow, that is so amazing, so inspiring. Okay, so for most people, they hear tulle skirts and they think, just like you said, wedding, maybe birthday, or they may think little girls wear tulle skirts.
Right.
How do you rock a tulle skirt? I mean, I look to you. I think that most designers, most of us know how to wear our own pieces. But then someone to look at you and say, "Well, that's what you would do," but I don't know how to do this. Like, how can you inform the viewers about how to rock it on an everyday situation and not feel like you're going somewhere fancy or you have to be a bride?
I say by the time you put on a tulle skirt, you're like 80% dressed. I mean, it's all about the skirt.
Yeah.
So you can put it on with a camisole, a sweater, a nice fitted shirt usually. I mean, by the time you're going with a looser shirt, like you kind of, it helps if that's your thing to style that. But a pair of flats, a pair of heels, it's so versatile. I always say, by the time you put on the skirt, you're 80% dressed. Like, you just throw another shirt with it. You're done. It's very easy. I think people overthink it because they're associating it with other people. But once you own it for yourself, it's however you want to wear it.
Yeah, that's good. It's like not thinking about anyone else and really and being okay with the fact that you can have something on dainty and then still make it urban and still dress it down and still freak it with some fronts like Keisha got on her bottoms. You know, it's like you don't have to. Again, it's style, and so that's really cool. I'm thankful that we had the opportunity to do some collaborations. I know we did some things with Raw, and of course, Keisha styled me for the Grammys a couple years ago. Had on the cool black tulle skirt, so that was amazing. But I know, of course, you're working with a lot of brides, and so we had a small collaboration with the bride because Keisha helped me with my first bridal veil when Lobe Dangle was expanding. I needed some of those sewing skills, and so I'm really excited to have that tulle leather collaboration. Hopefully, maybe soon we'll do some other things coming up. So that's really cool. So now we're going to take an opportunity to go into the Lobe vault, and this is the time where my guest gets a chance to go through the infamous suitcase and pick out a pair of Lobe Dangles, leather accessories, mainly earrings here, that she would wear. And she's going to tell us a little bit about why she picked them and where she would wear them.
I don't even know how to open it.
This way.
All right, you guys. These are dope. I'm sure everyone's going to love these.
Super dope. Not because I made them, just because I think they are.
Bling, bling.
Wow. Very nice.
This reminds me of a shield.
Yeah.
It's like a shield, and then you have like a chandelier. It's like strength and elegance.
Yeah.
That's what I see when I see this piece.
Nice.
And I think sometimes I show my strength, but that elegance thing, I keep that buried. So I put these babies on. It's gonna come right on out.
And that would be a good collaboration for someone who was getting married.
Right.
A black tulle skirt.
Yeah.
You know?
I've had a few brides get the black maxi or the black overskirt.
Very nice. Very nice. So tell me, how would you wear those? Those are, so just so you know, I'm going to hold one up. These are on a Swarovski crystal vintage finding, and they are hand threaded. I hand beaded these, so these are all basically a hand beaded situation on the bottom. And they are on black leather and sterling silver. So Keisha, if you had these in your wardrobe, how would you wear them?
Ooh.
Give us the outfit. Tell me where you're going.
Ooh. Okay. I've been out the going out game for a minute. So let's see. I don't know. It might be overkill, but hey, whatever. Black leather pants.
Okay.
Skinny.
Tiny.
Little tiny strap sandals. Not for these feet, though. This is for somebody else. And some type of like, you don't want anything competing with this.
Yeah.
So maybe something open, tight and open up in here. But I don't know. I feel like you need some white in there too to kind of complement
black
that.
and white.
Yeah, so maybe black and white, and then let this silver just sparkle. That's my selection.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Get you some.
their statement in and of itself. So
Absolutely.
And they are available on lobedangle.com if you're interested. Now we're going to talk about. Let's talk about real quick a fashion myth that we think that you think that people should ditch. You know, when we get in dress, I think we have so many thoughts that run through our heads in terms of who's saying what, who's wearing what everyone else likes. What is a fashion myth that you would ditch?
Okay, this is very personal to me. I had to get some water because I'm about to say a mouthful.
Okay.
All right. Oftentimes when I'm selling my skirts, women complain. No, they express themselves saying that they're either too old for a tulle skirt or too large for a tulle skirt. No, you're not. Don't do it, especially when you have the option for custom. So you don't have to get all the layers. You can get just a few layers. Or you can get the elastic waistband to kind of, give you some extra support in the midsection. Or whatever works for you. You can wear it high-waisted. You can wear it lower to kind of customize it to your build. I've seen women up in their 60s wearing my skirts. Sometimes customized. They're like, hey, I got a little bit of a belly, so I don't want it too tight. And we work it out. So that's one myth that's straight from 2Live2Love. It's like, don't do that to yourself. Don't deny yourself a tulle skirt because of your age. Oh my God, it's just a skirt. It's just a skirt. And size-wise, I've made all sizes. And honestly, I haven't seen one person look bad in it. Because you can customize.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And that's good. And I think because our brands, in terms of what you're creating, what I'm creating, we're kind of in the same price point to some degree.
Right.
And so one of the myths that I think that's very important is that a lot of times what I'm getting to understand as well is that you do want to invest in something that you love, something that's going to stay around, something that you'll be able to get a lot of wear out of. And just as Keisha said, especially with her skirts, you can wear those multiple ways. When you think about leather accessories, in my case, leather has at least a 40-year lifespan. That's a long time to have a pair of earrings or have a necklace or something of that nature. And then even after that, if you've taken really good care of it, you can continue to have it around. So make sure you get yourself an investment piece.
Right.
Of course, if someone sees you on the street and they see you rocking leather accessories, it's going to stand out. If you're walking down the street in a 2Live2Love tool skirt, maxi, mini, whatever,
Right.
you're going to make a statement. These are statement pieces.
Absolutely.
And so it's really important that you understand that. So tell me, what are some of the challenges you face as a designer? I know what I face. So let me just say this: in your down seasons or the times when things are not flowing as much as you want them to, you're not getting. I don't know what your highest volume is per month.
Right.
But at the time where you're not getting that, what are you doing? Like, is that the time you're upping up your social media game? What is that time challenging for you? How do you face those times? Because clearly every month is not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, I'll be very honest. For me, right now, I've matured a lot over these years. I feel like I'm a new person every day. But I take my mind off the money. Let it be about the art.
Wow, that's
because
good.
I need that inspiration to come in. Like, you get caught in a rut and you're just sewing, or you're just making what you usually make. And when you're feeling like I have to do this for money, that takes away from it for me.
Absolutely.
So, I try to center myself. I actually have started doing Kundalini yoga. I meditate. I stay inspired. I visited the BMA, the exhibit. Who was it? Diebenkorn. Oh man, I hate to forget the other guy's name. But I visited that exhibit. It inspired me so much, their use of colors. I actually bought the book, so I find my inspiration. I watch fashion shows. I actually step away from the numbers and just allow the inspiration go back to center, because you have to be, because that's when your creativity comes. You sometimes, if you kind of recenter yourself and you go back, and you have to make room. If your mind is full of money, bills, whatever, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I mean, by the time you're at that point and you're like, I don't know what to do, some people hit it hard. That hasn't really been the best thing for me. I try to stay centered. I try to stay inspired. And I'm always tweaking my brand. Like, when the inspiration flows for me, it like floods my brain. But then by then, sales are picking back up. So I'm like, I don't even have time to implement this. So it's like, I start thinking. So during that downtime, I get to start working with planning for those new releases. Once upon a time, like, I think it, I make it. It's out. It's on the website. But now it's like, I want to give a little more thought. I want to really develop these pieces, because there are a lot of tool skirt sellers. Okay, so honestly, like, I see your pieces. They're so dope. Like,
thank you.
I don't wear earrings. I want to start. Back in the day, I would wear like these big old earrings. I had door knockers. I had the gauges. I had earrings at the top. I had earrings on my face. I had them everywhere.
You had them in your face?
I had my lip. I had my eyebrow. I had my navel. I had some other parts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, totally into the piercing thing.
Wow.
That's another chapter. Okay, so but my question for you is, like, I look at your pieces, and you're kind of like a classic dresser, like with a little bit of like you go straight and then you kind of flip it on them and give you like your own personal like jazz, which I love. But your pieces like go beyond that. So I'm thinking, like, where is all of that creativity come from? Like, where are you drawing in your inspiration to create these pieces?
So my inspiration comes from a lot of different things, but I think the fact that I'm inspired by a lot of things. I'm inspired by nature. I'm inspired by God, because He's the dopest creative I've ever encountered. You know what I mean? How could you not be inspired by His creation? And so, and then I'm inspired by eras. I'm inspired by the 80s majorly. Okay. Love the 80s. Love the 70s. I love things that are, I like pieces that have shape and movement, but also too, that's not so feminine. I don't know if that's coming across the right way. Like, one of my customers said it. He said, I like the fact that, your pieces are, that they just embody like the hardness, but also to the softness as well. And so I try to do a mixture of both. I am super inspired again by nature, and just
wait a minute,
just really what's up.
Because I want to go back to this piece because I love it. I love these earrings. Okay, so earlier I said, to me, these represent like strength and elegance because it's shaped like a shield to me.
Yeah.
So, like, what was your inspiration for this? Like, how did you come up with this, really? I got to know.
I'll be honest with you. As a designer, and I know that you know, the editing process is serious. You know, I feel like to some degree, you know, you make shapes, and how many shapes can you make? You continue to make shapes, and so I like shields. I like coat of arms, and you know, I like military. I'm big into military fashion.
I love it.
So military fashion is amazing to me. Just went to a thrift store the other day, tried to buy like this whole situation.
Right.
It's like I want that whole set. So for me, it's kind of like that glam militant woman, you know. So I'm big into shapes. I'm always, and I create a lot. I create my shapes, so they're not templates of, you know, they're not stencils. I'm sitting and actually carving it out, and so for that, I know I started with that first military feel, and then how do I glam that up and make it a classic piece? Because again, I'm not a big glitzy glam person, but it's a time and place for that.
Yeah. And
I think if you can add a little sparkle into your situation, it's not overpowering for me, then I feel like go with it.
Love it.
Thank you. So Keisha, the journey of a designer, we're just thinking, you know, I'm going to get something out there. It's going to be dope. People are going to love it. But now that you've grown, you've evolved, you've been doing it for how many years now?
Well, the skirt's probably 3.
About 3 years now. I mean, you know, major success. You're getting the numbers. You know, you're getting the pictures. You're getting the proof. People love it. What's next? What's your dream collaboration?
Okay, so here's the thing. I tell you, when you're a creative, you have to be so forgiving of yourself. You can be so hard on yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's like, it's where you are and where you want to be. And sometimes you don't know how to close that gap. So I first want to collaborate more with myself, my inner self. Because like, I feel like I have what I want to offer and what I'm offering, there's a gap there. Yeah. But you know what? I'm being patient with the process, and you know, so that's that, first and foremost.
That's so real.
The second thing, as far as a collaboration, gosh, it's okay. Well, as far as a specific person, I'm a lot edgier than my pieces and than my photography lets on. Yeah. I really am. Like my last bride, when she provided me with the pictures of her overskirt at Burning Man, she kind of just had on like not a bathing suit, but like a jumpsuit, and she had on the overskirt and some boots. It was fantastic. Anyway, and she's in the desert, so it was awesome. So anyway, because I am a lot edgier, my dream collaboration probably would be with someone that is edgy, but is also like amazing and
like Pink or something.
No, Tiana Taylor. So yeah, you know, and I've been saying this for a while before that Kanye video. It's like I would love to see her in it. And as far as like another designer being involved, since we're in the we're talking about leather tonight. I'm here with Lobe Dangle, the queen of leather accessories. There's another leather accessory designer that I love. My name is Zaina Bain. She does like harnesses and belts and chokers. And she recently came out with this like skeleton piece, like that's like leather straps. If you pair that with a tulle skirt and make it feminine and soften it up with that leather and that tulle,
dope for a photo.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's out in a party, if you do a knee length with a leather bustier, I love leather and tulle. Yeah, I love those two things together. So I can't really think of any like mainstream. Like I have a lot of tulle designers that I totally admire. But as far as collaboration, I would just say Tiana Taylor. Hey, your people, call my people. Get you the bomb skirt.
So Keisha, we talked about where the brand has come from. We talked about where you are currently. Where do you see 2Live2Love within the next 5 years?
Oh wow, way bigger, way more creative pieces.
Still tulle?
Yeah. I have I have a lot of tool stays on my mind.
Yeah.
Like I have home decor tool ideas.
Oh,
I have
nice.
Definitely tool for the
Very
kids. But not in your traditional thing.
Yeah.
You go to Target and get a tool skirt for a little girl. But beyond that, who knows? I might branch off into other fabrics, but I really enjoy tulle, and I don't look at tulle as a skirt thing. I just look at it as a.
I feel you.
Yeah, you can make it into whatever you want, but definitely upping the ante with the range of options. Definitely turning up things as far as the presentation of my pieces. Really incorporating more of my personality into my online presence. I feel like sometimes as an artist you kind of want to shield yourself and let your brand speak for you, but I think that somewhere in there you should be there. If you choose. I want to be in my brand. I want it to be a clear reflection of who I am, and that's what I'm working towards. So I definitely see it, television ads, I definitely see it being worn on by various people, famous and otherwise, a further reach, more brand recognition. Like right now, I can spot my skirt in a lineup, but I think that with some of the ideas I have, you're like, I know that's to live to love, and that's where I'm going with that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, any fashion weeks coming up soon? See
My
yourself
gosh.
participating?
You know how some people like aim for the big stuff?
Yeah.
My thing is being ready for the big stuff. By the time you see me and all of this at Fashion Week, it's gonna be fire. It's not gonna be I tried. It's gonna be like she murked it. She like blew it out the park. She knocked that thing out. And
Baltimore murked it. I love it. Murked it.
Okay, let me go back into my soft voice.
No.
Like no, but yeah, like you're really.
That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
So yes. I am really taking my time. Actually, like Vancouver Fashion Week has reached out to me like more than once, and I'm like, no, it's not even not being ready. It's just that I'll know when the time is right, and I want to cultivate those pieces. I'm actually working on other pieces. Like I have a thing about these masks. So you and I talked about I had the ski mask. Yeah. So I've actually been sewing on glass beads on another type of mask. I want to add that edge, that Alexander McQueen. Not as far, he's a legend, but just show you tulle in a way that you weren't thinking about it. So maybe in a few years I should be ripe and ready. Yeah,
that's good. And just to speak to that, I think a lot of times as a designers, you get various voices saying, you should do this, you should do this.
Right.
Why haven't you done this yet? And it's like, you just have to, when the time is right. And some things you can't force, some things you can strong arm, you can murk it. Right? And then sometimes you're like, it's the journey. And so thank you for sharing your journey with us. Right. Definitely appreciate it. It's very inspiring. And again, if you'd like to know more about Keisha, then feel free to follow her on 2Live2Love on all platforms, right?
Oh, yeah. So let me tell you about some of those platforms. So, okay, I'm 2Live2Love brand, I think, on Instagram, and 2Live2Love on Facebook. But I'm also starting my YouTube channel. You can just search 2Live2Love to get to that. It's going to be a lot of behind the scenes. It's going to be some DIY tool projects.
That's right.
It's a lot of just kind of letting you know who I am, what I'm about, and how I come up with the things I come up. So definitely check me out on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's it. Facebook, I'm on Twitter as well. Need to get more chatty on there, but I'm on there. So yeah, that's that.
So what else is coming up before we go Lobe? Let's see.
So what else is coming up? Outside of tulle, you already know that like I deal with Etsy a lot.
Yes.
So
shout out to the Baltimore Etsy sellers.
Baltimore Etsy sellers. Yes, we recently won an Etsy grant for $25,000 to introduce Etsy to low-income women. So we partnered with Moms as Entrepreneurs and Open Works. We actually scored another grant that's to be announced. We're also having a holiday market coming up. She's not going to participate. So
I'll be somewhere else, but I wanted to.
Yeah, so I'm actually working on doing some video courses to kind of help other people sell on Etsy as well. So that is coming next month. I will be releasing my class on Skillshare. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Super dope. Good stuff. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Keisha,
for having
for
me.
coming.
It was fun.
Thanks for sharing the couch.
Yes.
And again, feel free to follow Lobe Dangle, lobedangle.com, 2Live2Love.com,
Yes.
Lobe Dangle on Facebook, Instagram, and we'll see you on the next episode of Lobe Live.
Bye bye.
Peace, love, and hair grease, right?
Peace, love, and